Today I'm talking with Andrew May, one of our leading experts on performance and productivity and author of the best-selling book Flip the Switch. Andrew is the former physical performance manager for the Australian cricket team and has worked with Olympic athletes, well, in pretty well every sport from what I can see. Not content with mere elite athlete status, Andrew is also a successful entrepreneur, having built and sold 3 health and well-being companies. Not surprisingly, we're going to talk about how to perform at our peak while at our work. Hello, Andrew.
Hello, Robert.
So, Andrew, one of the things that I've observed from reading your book and a number of things you write about is you draw a number of parallels between work, kind of performing at work, and performing as an elite athlete. What are those parallels?
I think there's definite parallels. It's not everything's the same, but what I've seen 15 years involved in elite sport, what we get right is recovery. You look at the best athletes, you look at Lance Armstrong, 7 Tour de France titles, Roger Federer with 5 Wimbledon, and the mighty Australian cricket team, maintaining dominance for 11 plus years. We work out a proper structured recovery program. So in sport, athletes will play hard, but then they recover hard. Now, I do most of my work in the business world, only 10% in sport, but we muck it up. In fact, we stuff it up. Because I think corporate people, they play hard all week, and then the weekends they spend catching up, doing emails, trying to get into the office while it's quiet. As a result, there's a part of my business growing quicker than any other part. It's working with people who suffer burnout.
Right. And I mean, and it's prolific, isn't it? And I guess if we look around us, we see in telecommunications industry, everyone is kind of onto us in business to, walk around with these little gizmos that mean that people can get to us anywhere, anytime.
You see people
I mean, is
flying.
that good, or?
Well, you see people flying. Now you're allowed on certain airlines a little bit extra time to check your text messages or send an email on the BlackBerry. Are we really that busy that we can't afford to have 2 or 3 minutes off in a runway? Now look, technology is great. It means you can work from home. It means you can work across boundaries. But I think there has to be a time when we turn the button off. Because what happens otherwise, you are on demand. And we have this new term in psychology called CPA, constant partial attention. So you've got 10% of your attention here, 5% here, 15 there, 30 here. It's when you get home and your friends or family or loved ones said, how was your day? And you go, really, really busy. And then they hit you with the uppercut, Robert. They say, well, what did you actually do?
Right.
You go, well, that's a great question, because I sort of sent 40 emails. I had 5 interruptions. I started 2 proposals, didn't finish 1. And you have that
You've
sort
been
of
looking
day.
at my desk.
It's a bit like therapy.
So, okay, look, I mean, I guess any of us in business, we hear this, don't we? And this is a message that we do get told, and particularly, I guess, when things are getting busier and faster, it's a time when we do tend to get people saying, look, you know what, you've got to cut off, you've got to cut away from it, you've got to take time out. So, what do we actually do, though? We hear all this. What do we do? How do we do it?
Well, I think exactly in the introduction you said in sport, what are the parallels? Well, one parallel that people can really learn from today is to look at, here's my calendar throughout a year. Sure, there's going to be times where you need to be on. There's times where you need to send emails, the BlackBerry, the mobile phone, to be on demand. But work out times where you are off the grid. Now, that may include weekends. And what I'd love everyone watching this is to plan a proper holiday. Now, a proper holiday is not like a client I'm working with who said, mate, I had the best holiday. Well, why was it so good? I lay down under the palm trees and I had full mobile reception and the BlackBerry. I said, so why is that a good holiday? He said, because I knew what was happening all the time. So what I'd love people to do...
That's not a holiday, is it?
Well, it's not, because you're still connected. Your mind is still working. And again, in sport, we send people away for at least 2 or 3 weeks. So for business people watching this, on a year, I'd love you to have 2 or 3 week break. And then the next step up on that is try and have a mini break every quarter. So every 3 months, try and go away for 2 or 3 days. I'm sure you're like this. You're busy as well in your job, multiple roles. When you go away from a break, you come back on Monday, you're sharper. Your brain is not misfiring.
But when you say, okay, sitting here watching this, you're thinking, right, okay, this guy's telling me I need to take a 3-week break. I need to go away every 3 months. And I can imagine some people thinking, he just doesn't know what my business is like.
You haven't seen my life.
Yeah, you haven't seen my life. So what do you say to that person?
I'd say that's a very, very true point. I'd say, first of all, look at what you can do every week. So every week, try and do some activities, which I call off activities or slower activities. So try and schedule in some time.
So an example, what
well, it might be going for a walk with your partner.
Okay.
It could be going out to dinner with the mobile phone off. It could be going to the gym. It could be getting a massage. It could be going and learning to dance, just doing something outside of work. Now, when we get stressed, we take out the activities that enrich us, we
Yep.
take out the activities.
First
that
things to go,
that
aren't they?
fire us. Yeah, they're the first things that should go back in.
Yeah. Okay, so you're saying that pretty well in every day, you said we should have something, some little...
days it's not going to be
Okay.
possible. You have those days where it's just crazy. But at least in a week, if you had 2 or 3 activities that connect you with what's really important, and I'm not saying work is not important,
Yeah.
but we tend to get so consumed by work, we don't do any of those fun areas in our life. We tend to disconnect from our loved ones.
Yes.
But I'll take a step back because it's a valid point. People watching this going, well, it's all right to have a holiday and then a break, but
Yeah.
I can't do that. So what you can do is control your workload. And
Right.
one of the biggest productivity bummers is people are just there. I was thinking the right word for it. Is
Bummers is a good
bummers is a good word. Yeah, is when you're working on demand all day. So
Yeah.
that example of constant partial attention
Yes.
is when you're sitting there and you're doing email badminton. Now I'm sure in anyone watching this, you never sat down at a job interview and they said, now here's your job description, and it's got there, you shall answer email every time it comes in.
Yeah.
You shall spend 3 or 4 hours
You
a
still
day
have
on
your
email.
concentration disturbed constantly.
You shall be
Yeah.
on demand.
Yeah.
So what people need to do is try and change the rules a little bit.
Yeah.
I think with email, chunk your checking times.
Yep.
Now there's times where you obviously need it with important proposals, but if you send me an email and I respond straight away, we do that 3 times, that's called an expectation.
Yeah.
You do it the 4th time
Yes,
and I
of
don't
course.
respond, you get annoyed.
Yeah, I see that so much to people that work in the services industry where, as you say, expectation, you respond very quickly to a client's query, then that is the expectation. They're going to want that every time. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't respond to our clients in a very timely manner, but if it's too fast, people know they can get you all the time. They'll try and get you all the time.
And the key word starts with E, it's expectations.
Yeah.
If you let clients know, look, there may be half a day a week on a Tuesday or a Thursday morning where I work in forced isolation. And to
Yeah.
me, that's another productivity tip. Have a couple of times a week where you turn off the email, you turn off the phone
Yeah.
and work uninterrupted. Try and control the walk-ins.
Enforced isolation.
So you put yourself in jail
Okay.
for half a day.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm sure you've found this. When you have a time where you can just work on proposals or chunk all the time together, in that half a day you often get more done than you do in a whole week with interruptions.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess the thing as well that we don't consider enough with these technologies is that there is voicemail. We can turn things off. We don't have to be on our email all the time, do we? So it's just getting into the habit of, as you say, checking email perhaps at a certain time, making sure we've got blocks for downtime, leisure, exercise, you kind of mentioned, and having some holidays in the diary is an important
5
thing.
key productivity
Oh,
tips.
5, good, okay, here we go.
So number 1 is go
Yeah.
to email school. And
Go
by
to
email
email
school,
school.
look at how many emails you are sending a day. I actually believe, personally, 80% of emails we send are rubbish.
Right.
80% of emails we
You have been in
respond
my
to are
office,
rubbish. I mean, when you do the email, hi Robert, I'm not sure about the interview questions we're going through, and then you
Yeah.
send it and I'm not sure, we play email 10 or 3 or
Yes.
4 times.
Whereas a phone call we could have...
You can pick up the
yeah,
phone, or
yeah.
even you can look over the cubicle for some people and say, hey, are you Robert? I've emailed
Yeah.
you 50 times
Yeah.
today. How about we chat about that?
Yeah.
Chunk your checking times 2 or 3 times a day. The second productivity tip I'd say is have fleeting meetings. I don't know what happened years ago, but we had this myth that we had to meet for 1 hour. Maybe
Yeah.
it was because of all the diaries had 1 hour time slots.
Yep.
If you can meet in 20 minutes, meet for 20 and get to the point. Otherwise,
Yep.
we spend half the day on email, another quarter of the day on meetings, and then we go, wow, now I'll do my work.
Yeah, day's gone.
While we
Yeah.
stay so late.
Okay. That was number 2?
Third tip,
Yep.
work to your energy personality. You're probably
Work
thinking,
to your energy personality. Okay.
are you a morning person, an evening, or are you somewhere in between?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
It's actually changed since I've become a parent. I certainly wasn't a morning person. I'd say I kind of am a morning person now, actually. Morning, and I also like evening, actually. I exercise in the middle of the day. I like to do good work in the morning, and I don't mind working a bit late at night.
So you're what we call a tiger.
Am I?
There's 3 basic energy personalities. Now,
Right.
people watching this, a true morning person, they are the gazelles, and that's about 15% of the population.
Okay.
Now, you know a gazelle because they set the alarm clock for 6 a.m. and they spring out of bed at 5:30, and they usually go for a walk or a run
Yeah,
around
I'm
the
not one of
plane.
them.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they love mornings. They get to work and they say, good morning.
Right.
Now, there's
Weird.
15 or 20% of the people who think they stink. They're called
Yeah.
bears.
Okay.
So bears, their concentration curve picks up more around mid-morning to early afternoon. And while I give it terms like gazelles, bears and tigers, the research on this is chronobiology. And they're doing a lot, especially in the northern states, or
Right.
the Northern Hemisphere, showing
Yeah.
that your performance can improve by 25 to 30% if you work on your energy personality. So meaning you are more creative. As a tiger,
Yeah.
you probably work better in the morning, you have the dip at lunch and then mid-afternoon.
Okay. Yeah, that's certainly me.
So
Okay.
you can control your interruptions in that morning space and the afternoon space.
All right.
You then
So
get
you
your
phrased that
emails.
at the beginning that to be aware of
Your energy personality.
your energy personality. Okay.
And this is where people stuff it up. So you're a morning person or a gazelle. You know,
Yeah.
because you love mornings. You get there
Yeah.
and you're all alert. The biggest killer in productivity is you get to work and do emails for the first 2 or 3 hours and go, oh,
Right.
look, mate, I'll get to that when I just
Yeah, yeah.
finish the inbox.
Yeah.
But then your concentration curve is down and you're fighting against your own body rhythm.
Right.
Whereas bears should stay away from gazelles of the morning. They don't get on well until about 10 a.m.
Okay.
But
Fascinating.
bears should do emails of the morning while
Right.
their brains are working
Okay,
up.
terrific. That was number 3?
Yeah.
4.
4 is work-enforced isolation.
Work-enforced
So
isolation.
put
Okay.
those imaginary bars around you and lock yourself away.
Okay.
I'd say at least for 3 hours to half a day. And if
Right.
you do that half a day a week, I guarantee people watching this will have a huge difference in productivity.
Absolutely. I
But what
totally agree with that one.
creates that, get
Yep.
the email rules first, fleeting meetings, work to your energy personality, so
Yep.
there's a plan to this. Then you should free up half a day where you can work on those creative, those high cognitive tasks where you need to plan,
Okay.
strategize and lead.
Fabulous. Number 5.
Recharge.
Recharge. Okay.
Yeah, hit the re button. So recharge, relax, refresh, take the holidays, take the mini breaks every quarter, and every week do some activities that put a bit of a smile on your face,
Right.
that make you feel like you're living again. And I really believe if you follow that process, you'll get a lot more done in a lot less time.
Fantastic. Andrew, thank you so much for spending time with us. It made it all sound so easy, and it clearly works for athletes, so let's try it for business. Thank you again.
Can I just say it's not
one
easy?
more, yes.
It's not easy.
It's not easy, no.
One of the reasons I teach this, and one of the reasons I think I have success teaching this, is I stuffed it up for years.
Okay.
Now, people, you're thinking,
Right.
why am I saying that? Because I want to be realistic, that this is hard.
Yeah.
And I think it takes people sometimes to get to rock bottom until they change. But rather than seeing people in my burnout clinic, I'd love them to put some of these strategies in place. It takes a while to make or break a habit.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard when you first start, but I just implore people to try
Give it a
and
go.
work differently.
Okay, Andrew, thank you so much. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, mate.